Well, joining me is John Wannenburgh, MHK for Douglas North. We're looking back to year one in this first part. Got to say, John, you're one of the people who really don't like doing interviews. I know it's not your thing, but thank you for coming in, because I think it's important to hear what you've been up to over the year. And let's go there. I mean, in a way, you didn't think you were going to get in. I mean, you made that quite clear. You know, you're a bit surprised, but how you found it?
I didn't expect to get in, but now that I'm in, it has been a revelation. I'm starting to enjoy it, and the fact that the people of Douglas North gave me the opportunity, I will forever be indebted to them, and I'll make sure that I represent them as well as I can. How am I finding it? I said to others, it's been a baptism of fire. It has. There's been some serious big issues that we've all had to contend with, but we need to get on with the job, you know, and I'm doing my best, Paul, and I hope it's going to be good enough.
I mean, is it something you've learned quickly how to do this, or do you think it'll be something which will evolve over the years, how to become a parliamentarian?
Certainly, you know, when you polish a gemstone, it's going to take a while. There's certainly been starts in getting there, but I'm clear, you know, I'm a long way from the finished product. But I will always be brutally honest on how I see things. That will never change. That is exactly as it will be in the future.
I mean, you took on, what, OFT in Home Affairs?
Yes, I put my hand up for a department, and I'm in Home Affairs with Paul Moulton as my minister, and I'm chair of the OFT as well.
How's that going? OFT always seemed to me, from an outsider's point of view, it didn't have enough teeth or anything like that. And I'll come to Banks Gas in a moment, because obviously that's slightly one thing you're in the news at today.
Yeah, I mean, the OFT as a department is hugely understaffed, under-resourced, and I think it has a bad press. And the perception is that it lacks teeth, but saying all that, there are some very hard-working officers there. I know, I've seen them. I'm hugely impressed with what they do under the odds, and I think any department that stands up for the consumer, wants fair trading and restricts profiteering, then, you know, I'm naturally at home in that. Lots of work to be done, lots of work to be considered when it comes to, are we a statutory board, or are we going to be part of the larger regulatory hub along with RTC and health and safety to create those synergies? I don't know. That's work in motion. And we need to resolve that as well, because that's not the best for settling staff. We need to know exactly where we are, and then we need to get on with it.
Does this give you aspirations that you want to become a minister, for instance?
No, that's not on my radar, no. I'm quite happy where I am. That's not through lack of ambition. I don't particularly like to be told what to do by anybody. I like to sing off my own hymn sheet. And I think you can be very effective as a backbencher. I'm not saying I would never become a minister, but it's on my radar.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about part two, more about your future ambitions maybe there, but what have you done in this year, though? Let's try that, because obviously, you know, 12 months is up, sort of thing. This year's done. What have you done?
What have I done? Well, I've represented my constituents to the best of my ability, and there's been lots of those issues going on from day one. And sometimes I get a successful outcome for them, and sometimes I don't. But on each of those issues, I would say I've done my best. What have I done? You know, when you become an MHK, first thing is you don't become King Canute. You don't flick your fingers and things happen. You become one of a collective, and you'll only ever get things done if the consensus agrees. So intangibly, I've been forming relationships, forming bonds with certain members of Tamil that I think I have common interests in, and I go forward from there. But I can't point to anything massively that I've done.
What did you stand for there when you actually went around those door knocking sort of thing? What was your
Stop wasting money was the number one issue.
Stop wasting money.
Yeah, I sat in this studio a while ago. Yeah.
Can you believe what you're seeing there? I mean, the number of in civil service has gone up again. I know that was one of your things.
Yeah.
What, 200 extra people on the payroll?
197.2 people on the payroll.
0.2.
Yeah. Since
what do you make of that?
Last year, what do I make of it? It's out of control. And I'm sure we can hear ministers say, oh, well, you know, these are essential services staff, or we need to fill these vital posts and the rest of it. But it just grows like a monster, the civil service, and we just can't afford it. You know, there is not a single business that would run like that. you know, and the fact that no one really feels the pain of extra pensions, extra salaries, it's absurd that it runs like that.
What are you going to do about it?
I'm going to keep questioning the way you've just mentioned that question, and I'm going to ask them to justify it.
And you got the chief who brought Save back into the equation as well, didn't he? He actually mentioned it recently.
Well, let's get that accurate. That he brought back the failed Save.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you read that way.
Yeah.
So
don't you read it that way?
Well, I'm here to ask you the question.
Yeah.
What do you think to that whole thing? Was that just a smokescreen? Do you think to cover up? I think it was the ransom affair, wasn't it, and that sort of thing at the same time.
Well, that's a big question. When he introduced that or reintroduced the Save scheme, I did put a question as to what would be different this time to make sure it didn't fail like last time. I didn't receive what I thought was any satisfactory answer. You mentioned ransom. That's probably.
We've got to be careful now because as we record this again, we have this whole thing about sub judice.
I'm deeply uncomfortable with all of this. I have lots to say in it. It won't make nice listening for some people. Of that, I don't really care. But I will say it. I will have my day when I say what I think, and that's going to happen.
That's when the dust settles, and the government's been found wanting on this whole thing, and they're going to have to pay some money. It's a question now more about how much, I suppose. But as I say, we'll leave that one for another day. But just the whole way the government's structured, these silos, as my friend Chris Robert Shaw always used to use. Have you found that to be the case, that everyone's in it for themselves, their departments are fighting everybody else?
I think certainly when it comes for department spend, everyone fights against everybody.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you know, I'm not sure that I've been around long enough to make a proper evaluation of that. I don't doubt after his 10 years in Timble that he's probably right. But I want to find out for myself.
What about the island plan?
What about it?
Have you signed up for that? Did you?
I have. Yeah, of course. We need, as a new administration, to come in, and we need to set out our goals and our targets. That is right. We need to have a vision for the Isle of Man, and of course I'm going to sign up for that. Who wouldn't sign up for that? Now that we've all done that, we need to start delivering. And from the very beginning, I said we will not be judged on this island's presentation, the plan. We will be judged on its delivery, and that is going to be key. And I don't care if I get voted in again or not. We need to deliver for the people. That is why we are here. And if we can't do that, then none of us should be in, frankly.
You see, you're saying all the right things here. I mean, this is
no, Paul. I'm saying all the things I think.
I know. And
if they happen to be right, that's good. But that's what I think.
How difficult is it to do that, though?
To do what?
To stand up to your convictions. When you've got so many...
Why would it be difficult?
Well, because you're going to have so many other people and government pressures, maybe, I don't know.
No, I will always stand up for what I think. You know, the one thing I said in my manifesto and in my hustings, I'm a straight talking kind of guy, you know. I'm not a legacy politician. I'll say what I think and I'll be honest. And whatever I've done and said in the last 12 months, I think I can say I've done that.
Because these days so many things are briefed first to you guys in private. We sometimes as journalists also get a briefing. Does that take away the effect of going into the House of Keys or to Timwell to actually really ask searching questions when it's all sort of being done almost behind closed doors sometimes?
No, I mean, I think there does need to be a certain amount of preparation when these like workshops or whatever the case. You do need to do some prepping, and that is right and proper. But when it gets presented to the public and when we do debate it in Timwell or the Keys, then I'm going to ask any question I like, and I need to get the answers I like. Otherwise, I keep asking.
It's the first question, of course, they've got. It's always the supplementaries, which is when it gets interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the true mark of learning the skill as a backbencher is when you start asking supplementaries on other people's questions. Yeah. And I think that's the fruit.
Did you find it hard because you're not a guy for the limelight overall?
No, I don't.
What was it like to start standing up and
I'll be honest, the very first Keys I sat in, and Chris Thomas stood up and started asking questions, and I had this rush to the head of blood. I thought, this is fabulous. This is tremendous. I get to do this?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Are you getting the answers you want to hear, though? I mean, do you get fogged off? I mean, this is the thing that sometimes things are shoved into the long grass, aren't they? So many things.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as people probably recall, over June, I think it was, I was asking Tim Crookle a lot of questions on the buses, and I'm not saying he fobbed me off, but he gave me answers.
He gave an answer that was probably written for him, no doubt, by somebody.
I've no doubt it was written for him. I've no doubt, and it was written badly, and unfortunately, I didn't get the right answer. There was the only one that he could give me. So you don't always get the right answers, but if you keep probing, as in this case has happened, the truth comes up.
Okay, well, we'll leave it there on this one. We'll look at part 2. We'll be looking ahead to the next 12 months. That's in part 2.